Prior to the advent of Shankara on the spiritual scene of India, Sanatana Dharma was on the threshold of disintegration due to the extreme popularity of Buddhism. The kings, emperors, ruling class, and elite society, they were all fascinated by Buddhism. It appeared as if Sanatana Dharma would meet its decay. In such a situation, Shankara arrived on the scene and faced the situation boldly and with confidence. Shankara was a philosopher, a poet, a great organizer. Shankara was born in 788 and attained Samadhi in 820. His lifespan was just limited to 32 years, but his achievements were wonderful. He was born in Kaladi in Kerala. I had the privilege to go to Kaladi once when I was at Coimbatore. I was accompanied by my son. The journey was quite pleasant. It was almost 7 or 8 hours journey, but it was pleasant because we enjoyed the scene on both sides. The lofty mountain peaks, the dense forests, and the magnificent buildings surrounded by coconut trees, laden with coconuts. But when we reached there, to our utter disappointment, the institution was closed. And we had to wait for another, say, 4 or 5 hours. At, say, almost 6 or 7, the institution is opened. We moved around it, and we saw that the pictures of Shankara's life and his achievements were pasted on the walls. We moved around and a full view of it. Then we went to see the river Purna, which marked a turning point in Shankara's life, where a crocodile caught hold of him and dragged him into deep waters. And there his mother was compelled to give him permission to become a sannyasi. Then we went to see the temple of Sri Krishna. Shankara was a precocious child. His father's name was Shivaguru, mother's name was Aramba. They were deeply religious, but they were issueless. So, wife Arjamba advised his husband Shivaguru that they should go to Thrissur and worship Lord Shiva with strong devotion so that they would be blessed with a child. They went there and observed certain rituals and penance, and the Shiva was highly pleased with them. Then he appeared in a dream and asked them, what sort of child do they want? A precocious child, a talented child, an extraordinarily brilliant child with this small span of life, or an ordinary life, child with a long life. They preferred the first. That means they wanted a child who must be extraordinarily brilliant. And you see, after some months, Shankara was born. Since it was the grace of Lord Shiva or Shankara, therefore his name was given as Shankara. Shankara exhibited his brilliance, his talent, wonderful talent from his very childhood. But when he was 3 years old, his father passed away. It was a terrible shock to his mother, but she sustained it patiently and brought up the child with love, affection, and tender care. His Upanayana or sacred ceremony was performed with the help of his relatives and some of the villagers. After that, he was sent to Gurukula. Shankara read there for 2 years and mastered all the Vedas. One day he came for alms. He stood just in front of a house and said, Bhikhyang Dehi. The wife of the housewife came and saw the brahmacharin, but she was saddened at heart because they were extremely poor and she had nothing to offer to the brahmachari. She gave a gooseberry, expressing her sadness that she could not give anything better. She was so sad, so it touched Shankara's heart. There, he prayed to Mahalakshmi, the goddess of wealth, to grace this family with prosperity and happiness. Actually, this stanza is a famous one. It is called Kanakadhara Stotram. It begins with Angang Hare Pulaka Bhusanama Sayanti Bhrunganganeva Mukula Bharanam Tamalang Angikruta Chila Vibhutira Pangalila Mangalya Dastu Mama Mangala Devataya. This is actually sung on auspicious occasions. And when Shankara sang this, prayed to Mahalakshmi to bless the family, actually the family got prosperity. Shankara completed his education and after 2 years he returned home and was devoted to his mother. One day his mother went to take bath in the river Purna. While returning home, she fainted due to the scorching heat of sun. Shankara heard it, rushed to the spot, brought back his mother and attended to her. She regained consciousness. That night Shankara prayed to Lord Krishna with strong devotion, and it is said that later on the river changed its course. Now this river is now near the village Kaladi. Shankara developed a feeling of renunciation. He wanted to become a sannyasi, but his mother did not permit him because he was her only child and hope. His father had passed away. In such a situation, how could she live without him? But one day a miracle occurred which compelled his mother to permit him to become a sannyasi. Shankar was taking his bath in the river Purna. The mother was standing near the bank of the river. A crocodile caught hold of his leg and pulled him into deep waters. The mother, seeing this event, cried. Shankar said, Mother, don't worry. If you give me permission to become a sannyasi, this crocodile definitely release me from its clutches. The mother, finding no alternative, rather she was compelled to give permission, and then Shankara prepared himself to become a sannyasi. When he took leave of the mother, she cried and said, Shankara, how can I live without you? How can I bear the pang of separation from you? It is impossible, I cannot live, I shall simply die. Shankara assured her mother, don't worry, I will be by your side when you need me, the last moment of her life. Then she left home and traveled a long distance in quest of a guru. And after traveling long distance, he reached the bank of the river Narmada, where there was the hermitage of Govindapada. He prostrated before his guru, touched his feet, and the guru blessed him and allowed him to be his disciple. He read there, learnt Advaita Vedanta and the meaning of Mahavakyas and also the Yoga Vidya. One day, there was a heavy rain. The water of the river swelled and crossed the barriers and rushed towards the hill where his guru was sitting in meditation, absorbed in meditation. When the flood water rushed, Shankara went there, held a vessel and uttered some mantra. The flood waters got compressed and gathered in the vessel, and the life of Guru could be saved. After the Guru came to the normal state, he knew it and thought that Shankara was a wonderful boy, an extraordinary boy, a brilliant boy, and he is the competent person to write commentaries on Brahma Sutra because some seer had told him before. Then Guru advised Shankara to proceed to Kashi. Then Shankara proceeded to Kashi and ultimately reached there, had a number of followers there, and he there preached Advaita philosophy, had a debate with scholars. One day he had the vision of Lord Shiva, who advised him to proceed to Himalayan range and there to write commentary in the solitude of Himalaya. Shankara, along with his other saints and disciples, proceeded to that place, Badrinath. There he remained for some years and wrote commentaries on Brahma Sutra, principal Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita, which are called Prasthana Trayi. They are called Prasthana because if you follow the teachings of these scriptures, you will get a departure or Prasthana from the sufferings of life, or from bondage, you will get Mukhya. Shankara wrote these commentaries, excellent commentaries, extraordinary, brilliant commentaries on these scriptures, and then he wrote some original works, and he wrote also many hymns, many devotional songs. Actually, he completed this work in a very short time and then returned. After that, he moved around the whole country, preached the doctrine of Advaita, which means Slokardhena pravakhyami jaduktam grantha kotibihi brahma satyam jagan mithya jivo brahma ivana para. The whole philosophy of Advaita can be expressed in half a stanza. Brahman is the only reality, world is apparently real, and Jiva and Brahman, they are identical. He preached this philosophy all around, debating with many scholars, entering into debate with many exponents of other views, rival thoughts, rival theories, and defeated all of them. And all admitted his view, accepted his view. And you see, Shankara's debate with Mandan Mishra is something brilliant one. It is a memorable one. Shankara came to know that there was Kumarila Bhatta, who was an exponent of Mimanga Darshan. He must debate with him. But when he reached Prayaga, he found Kumarila preparing to enter into fire, slow fire of a husk. Because Kumarila had the feeling that he had betrayed his guru. Actually, in disguise, in the guise of some Sramana, Buddhist bhikshu, he entered into Buddhist ashram, learned Buddhism, and then defeated his guru. He thought that he had betrayed his guru, he has deceived him, he has resorted to treachery, deception. That was really a great sin, and he must atone for that. Therefore, he was preparing to enter into slow fire, prepared of husk. Shankara met him and he requested him not to do so. But Kumarila said, "Oh, Shankara, oh Brahmachari, I have decided to do it. And if you want any debate, go to Mandan Mishra, he is my chief disciple. And he is the competent person with whom you can have debate." Then Shankara proceeded to Mahismitpura. There he saw, in that town or place, he saw some women, very learned women with vessels, going to fetch water. Shankara asked them about the residence of Mandan Mishra. Their reply was simply astounding. Swatah pramanang paratah pramanang kirangana jatra giro giranti dwarasta nidantara sanniruddha janihatan Mandana Mishra dhama. Where these parrots are debating among themselves regarding Swatah pramana paratah pramana. That means whether Vedas have self-validity or they get validity from other pramana, other factors. That means they depend on others for their validity. This is the debate. Nayayikas say no, they have not self-validity. Mimamsakas say they have their own validity. They are self-evident. They do not depend on anything else to prove that they are true or they are valid. So this is the question on which there was debate. So Shankara knew that was the residents of Mandana Mishra taking into consideration this thing, why the women had told him. Then he found out Mandana Mishra's residence easily. But that was the Shraddha of Mandana Mishra's father. The doors were closed. And the gatekeepers did not allow him to enter the house. He entered into house by yogic power. And Mandana Mishra was first of all very angry with him, because he did not expect that on such an occasion a sannyas will come to his house. But anyway, those who are present, they are pacified his anger, and Shankara, he wanted to give him alms, but Shankara did not like it. He said, oh, I want debate, that is my bhiksha, that is alms. So next day, the debate started. It continued for many days, and ultimately Mandana Mishra was defeated. And in the debate, who was the umpire? Mandana Mishra's wife, Guhya Bharati, was the umpire. She declared, although my husband has been defeated by you, I have not been defeated. Unless you defeat me, you cannot think that you have the full victory over it. Then, but Shankara first avoided. How would he debate with the women? But she cited from instances of Vedic time. Ultimately, the debate started. But when she put questions on signs of erotics, signs of sex, he was a brahmachari. Then he took some time, for 1 month time. He entered into another body and had knowledge and defeated her. Now Mandana Mishra accepted it, became his disciple. Accepted defeat and became his disciple. He was named as Shankaracharya. Mandana Mishra was called Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya had 4 main disciples: Shankaracharya, Padmapada, Hastamalaka, Totagacharya. And Shankaracharya had established 4 mathas for the unity of Sanatana Dharma. To strengthen the very foundation of Sanatana Dharma, Shankara had actually established 4 mathas at 4 different corners of the country. One at Puri. The matha which he established at Puri was called Govardhana Pitha. And the first Shankaracharya of that matha was Padmapadacharya. The Veda was Ruk Veda. The mantra was Pragyanam Brahma. The presiding deity was Lord Jagannath. And the Devi was Bimala. And the Tirtha was Mahodadhi. Similarly, he started what is called Sarada Pitha Dwaraka. And the Veda was Sama Veda. The Jyoti Matha Badrika. The Veda is Atharva Veda. And the Sringeri Matha or Rameswara, the Veda is Yajur Veda. In this way, Shankaracharya established 4 mathas at different places, and he appointed 4 disciples in those places. Therefore, it strengthened the very foundation of Hinduism. Shankaracharya's connection with the Jagannath temple should also be discussed. Shankaracharya, after defeating almost all the exponents of rival theories, establishing 4 mathas, propagating Advaita philosophy, and waving the banner of Advaita Darshan in India, came to Odisha. In those days, it was called Kalinga. Shankara first reached Jajpur. That is the place where Viraja is worshipped. He took a dip in the water of Baitarani, holy water of Baitarani. It is a holy place, and the Pandavas along with Draupadi, their spouse, had bathed in it, and Shankara did so. He felt sanctified. He had a darshan of Viraja, Devi, and Yajna Varaha. But when Shankara reached there, the news spread like wildfire and people thronged the place. And also, the then king of Orissa, Jajati Kesari, knew it, and he also came to have darshan of Shankaracharya. From him, Shankara came to know that Jagannath was not on Ratna Vedi, the golden pedestal, the golden altar, and he requested the king about the whereabouts of Jagannath to inform him, actually to inform him where was Jagannath. Then the king sent messengers, and the report came that because of the fear of invasion of Raptabahu, the images or idols or what we call the Trinity were carried to some safer place, that is near Sonpur, and buried there. Then Shankaracharya requested the king, Jajati Kesari, to take necessary steps for the recovery of these three images. And people were sent there, messengers were sent there, and they came to know that the images or the idols or the Trinity were buried under a banyan tree. And the tree was cut off, and the Trinity were recovered. But they were damaged. They were damaged because they were there for more than 100 years, about 144 years. So, as per the request of Shankaracharya, a great yajna, that is called the Sahasrama yajna, was held at Jajpur. And 10,000 Brahmins were brought from Kanyakubja, and Navakalya were also held there. And after that, the Trinity were placed on Ratna Mandapa, which is called the golden pedestal. And Shankaracharya changed the system. He just thoroughly examined the system and introduced it thoroughly, and a very, very ideal system, so that in future there will be no problem at all. And he established a matha there and appointed his Padmapada as the first Shankaracharya, and he was endowed with the power to supervise the religious activities of the temple. If there is any dispute regarding the system, any religious act, that's any dispute, then the final decision will be taken by the Shankaracharya of Govardhana Pitha. He is the sole authority in this matter. There is Mukti Mandapa, but he is the permanent president. There is an acting president of Mukti Mandapa, but Shankaracharya is the permanent president. He is the sole authority to take the final decision, and decision is binding. Shankar had also sent one of his disciples to Nepal to bring living salagramos. It is said that he brought 1 lakh salagramos, and the king of Nepal had completely cooperated with him. Therefore, the king of Nepal enjoyed special privilege in the matter of worship in Jagannath temple. Now, we believe that the Ratna Mandapa or the golden altar stands on these 1 lakh salagrams, living salagrams in the Jagannath temple. Shankara introduced Anna Bhoga, rice Bhoga, in the temple also. Therefore, the system is still continuing as per the provision and the conditions laid down by Shankaracharya. And if Jagannath is worshipped there, even today, after so many obstacles, so many problems, so many setbacks, I think the major credit should go to Shankaracharya, and we must be grateful to him. Shankaracharya was not only a great philosopher and great organizer, he was also a celebrated poet. His poems evoke emotion, devotion. That is what is called bhakti in our heart. He has written so many stanzas, so many poems, so many devotional songs, and it will not be difficult to recite them here. But I will give you 2 or 3 instances. He provided many things in the spiritual matter, but there is a bhakti song about Prabhu Sri Jagannath, which is called Jagannathashtakam, which generally devotees sing on special occasions like Kadachit Kalindi Tata Vipina Sangeeta Karabo Mudabhiri Nari Badana Kamala Swada Madhupo Rama Sambhu Brahma Marapati Ganesh Archita Pado Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatume Bhuje Sabye Venung Sirasi Sikhi Puchan Katitate Dukulang Netrante Sahachara Katakhyam Vidadhate Sada Sri Mad Brunda Vanavasatila Parichayo Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatume. He has also referred to Radha. Param Brahma Pidya Kuvala Pulatpulla Nayano Nivasi Niladrau Nihita Charana Nanta Sirasi Rasa Nando Radha Sarasvapura Linkana Sukho Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatume. Similarly, he has also written about our divine mother, Durga Devi. Prithibang putraste janani bahava santi sarala parang tesang madde birala tarol hang tavasupo madhiyo yang tyaga samuchita midang no tavasive kuputro jayeto kuchita pikumata navavati. Mother, you have many noble sons. I am a wicked son of yours, but you should not forsake me, because however ungrateful may be the child, mother is ever loving and kind. You are my mother. You should excuse me, you should forgive me. So in this way he has composed thousands and thousands of poems regarding Lord Shiva and Durga, Mahalakshmi, Narayan, Ganesh. So they evoke response, very enthusiastic response in your heart. Regarding life he says, Ayur Nasati Pasyatam Prasidinang Jati Khayang Jauvanang Prap. Ado, life is temporary, life is ephemeral, but we should worship Lord Shiva. He will bless us so that we can attain immortality and prosperity in our life. Therefore, Shankaracharya, what a great prophet, a great organizer, great philosopher, and really he is immortal in the heart of millions and millions of people, millions and millions of Hindus, millions of followers of Sanatana Dharma. If our Dharma, our religion and Sanatana cult stands firm today despite all the setbacks because of Shankara, now I just offer my homage, my devotion at his feet, thanking you.